to root out corruption and to punish people who have misappropriated public funds is a call from the soul of the nation. It is a call from the soul of the nation that for once we must put our foot down, because the youth are crying for opportunities, and the youth are losing faith in our democracy, and the youth are tired of being unemployed and hungry when they can see that the public resource that belongs to all of us is being corralled and squandered by a few people. And so if we don't do that, a time will come when some things will happen. There are two things that can happen. If people lose faith in our democracy and that faith is going down, the last survey, it said it had gone from 74% to 50% of young people believe in our democracy. And so their faith in our democracy is going down. And as you continue to subject them to 000, 010, 100, 001, a time comes when they have no interest in the survival of the state or in the survival of our democracy. And in West Africa, normally what would happen is that a coup d'etat will take place. But in East Africa, civil unrest will take place, like we saw recently in Kenya. And so it is a cry from the people themselves that the political elite must get it right. This is our last chance at saving our democracy, and it cannot be business as usual. And that's why I've said that the greatest fight against corruption is not prosecuting your political opponents, it is also dealing with your own people when they indulge in the same thing. And so I've said it several times that yes, we'll hold the government that is going out accountable for the things that have happened. We'll investigate them. We have a constitution, we'll go by the rule of law, prosecutions will take place, judgment will be given. And so that will do. But while you're doing that, if your people start indulging in the same thing, you must have the courage to punish them. And that's why I've said, if people want to come into government and make money, then we can help you. You go into the private sector, we'll help you set up a cassava processing plant, go and process cassava, employ young people. Don't come and take public office. Once you take public office, you must be prepared to be held to account. And so, yes, we might be friends. Sometimes it's painful. And I have an example. Abu Gapele is my friend. The National Youth Authority, himself and others were prosecuted during my tenure. I was not happy to do it, but I mean, one has got to do what he's got to do. And so, yes, we'll pursue corrupt officials and we'll deal with them. And when we're dealing with them, if somebody does the same in our administration, that person will also be dealt with. So I've sounded a warning. Everybody who wants to be a minister, a CEO in John Mahamat's administration, if the Office of Special Prosecutor comes after you, you are on your own. I'm not a clearing agent. I will not clear you. So let me go to this side. There's a young lady here. Give the microphone to the young lady.
Please, my name is Bernardo Leboche. I'm from Ablekuma South. I would like to ask my question in Ghana.
You.
Me Babofai. Nonimi Bambariene is about security services. Here lies the case that security services join qualification. Me be question ke ha inya me hie ke ye na me hie qualification. Ko papa wa me no ba no fake ha me because I'm a passion to do the security job. They have the zeal, they have the power, the manpower is there. she na me here qualification wo awo amedagba ke protocol ba pay 150 ho papa wa me no ba nyo fe wa me ko na me bote security service na me wa ma oh you are done.
Oh, you are done. Oh, you are done. Let me explain. Let me explain. Even if you have your own business, yeah, your own business you own, some amount of education is important to run your business. You understand? If you go to the security services, and I know when MPP came, to make it easy, they scrapped the qualification for their people to go in. Today, as I said, there are police officers who can't go on duty in the station because they can't enter the station diary. I mean, yeah, station diary me po. So go to Noya. Her complaint enye enma beja eyache wa a colleague komi ake bile ake mineke enma ohami. You understand? So I can understand. The point is, we do so at our own risk. There are many other areas in which we can recruit our people who do not have a qualification. And so let us not say, because of that, we'll scrap every standard. At least they have tempered down the mathematics qualification. But English reading and writing, I'll encourage our young people. You should be able to read and write. And aside from that, there are many other places. You see, why everybody wants to go into the security services? Because there's no employment. Because if there were other areas that we could employ our people in factories, you know, working as technicians in factories, because even if you cannot read and write, you can be trained with your hands to be a skilled factory worker. But it's because there's no work in the factories that everybody wants to be in police or immigration or something. And that is why we want to revive the economy of this country. That is why we want to build more factories, so that all our young people in Jamestown and Bukom and everywhere, we can take them to go and work in Tema, in factories and other places. And so there will be some minimum requirements to be able to enter the services, so that at least you are functionally able to carry out the duties that you are given. And so, thank you very much. That's the answer to your question. Let me come this way. Yes. Let's see who. Okay, the one sitting by. I'll come back to you, okay?
Thank you very much, His Excellency. My name is Prosper Agbesi Amlade. I'm an entrepreneur. And I have two questions. I've heard about you.
Let's try and make it one each so that we can cover more people.
Okay,
but
thank you.
You ask. You are the last to ask two questions.
Okay, thank you. I have heard and I've listened to your 24-hour economy. And what I want to know is that how long would it take for this policy to start rolling out? Would it be like the free SHS as promised and was rushed within the first 6 months, and then we are witnessing the challenges even as at now? Would it be like that when you come to power? And then my next question would have to be on taxes. There has been some taxes being paid by the Ghanaian people. One of them include COVID tax, which it's been 2020 since COVID came, but we are still paying COVID levy or COVID tax as at now, but you're not seeing what is happening. Are you going to abolish that, or it's going to continue? Do you have a policy about that? And then the NHIL levy, yes, I know it covers hospitals and healthcare and the national health insurance. However, when you go to the hospital, you realize that there are certain drugs that are not covered by the NHIS. You go to the hospital and they give you paracetamol, amoxicillin, and the rest. But other drugs, they refer you to go and buy them at the drugstore. Do you have any policy that's going to strengthen the NHIL or NHIS policies to ensure that the average Ghanaian people can access health care and the rest? Thank you.
Hey, you've asked virtually 3 questions. Smuggled two questions. Okay, the 24-hour economy is not going to be one night event. It is a process, and it's voluntary. On the part of government, we have what we control. For instance, we can ask customs to start a process of working 24 hours because customs is a state agency. We can ask the ports to work 24 hours so that people can clear their goods at any time in the day or the night. Anything to do with state agencies, we can do 24 hours because we control that. With regards to manufacturing and businesses, it is voluntary. You cannot go and compel people and say, by this date you must start working 3 shifts. So you have to give them incentives. And those incentives will be to give them maybe low interest loans so that they can expand their production and take on more people. It could also be in the form of tax waivers so that they have less taxes to pay, and so they can plow that amount of money into expanding their production. It will also be finding markets outside so that they can engage in export trade under the African Trade Continental and Free Trade Area, under the ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme, under our agreements with America in AGOA, under our agreements with the EU, so that we can improve our exports based on an increased demand. And so it's not going to be an overnight thing that it would happen like a flashbang, but we will start the process. And it is our hope that we will go far within the 4 years, and any government that comes can continue the policy and go and run with it. Ghana is the only country I know so far that is being taxed for a pandemic that has passed. We who suffered and were the victims are being punished for a pandemic that came and went. We survived the pandemic, and he said, no, you must pay tax. And so COVID tax was introduced. But let me tell you, COVID is a value-added tax. And the COVID tax was introduced because government needed to increase revenue. Now, let me explain to you. And that's why when somebody comes and he says, when I come, I'll abolish these taxes and so on and so forth. The question you ask him is, why don't you do it now? He cannot do it now because this government has agreed with the IMF and added COVID tax as one of their revenue handles. It's part of the IMF agreement. And so, as part of their agreement with the IMF to increase revenue, they've locked COVID inside. And so if you come and you want to take the COVID tax out, then it means that the IMF bailout, you have not been able to fulfill the agreements with the IMF. And that is why he says, oh, vote for me. When I come, I'll remove this tax. But the question is, if you could remove it, you do it now, but you can't do it because you've agreed with the IMF that COVID tax is one of your revenue measures. IMF has asked you to increase your revenues to a certain percentage of GDP by 2028. And so far, you are at about 15 point something percent. You are nowhere near the 24% they've asked you to increase it to. We are saying that we'll rationalize those taxes because there are other areas in which we can collect taxes. There are other areas in which we can expand the tax net so that we can take those obnoxious taxes out. One of the taxes that is not performing is e-levy. E-levy, they said, will solve every problem in this country. Unfortunately, e-levy is not performing well. It's bringing in just about 1.something billion cedis. And so some of those obnoxious taxes, you can substitute them. For instance, property taxes. We're not collecting property taxes well enough. If we're collecting property taxes, we'll get maybe 10 times what we're collecting in e-levy and in COVID tax. And so those are areas that we want to look at. Apart from that, let's spread the tax net. I live in my house. Every day, electricians come and work, and I pay. Plumbers come and work, I pay. Air conditioning technicians come and service my air conditioners, I pay. And they charge quite meaningful sums. One day they brought me a bill, and I said, maybe I'm in the wrong profession. If I was an artisan, I mean, you're charging me 5,000 for just this. So if me too, I was repairing people's things and I was getting 5,000, 4,000, 2,000, 3,000, maybe I'll be earning more money than the profession in which I am. But when you pay, who takes tax from that person? You must find a way of spreading the tax net so that when you pay him that 2,000, at least he too, some 100 cedis or 200 cedis will go to government. And so how we can spread that tax net is what we are apprised of. And if we're able to do that, it will reduce the tax on everybody, because then we can throw away all the other taxes that are killing business and making it difficult for them to get, for people to get employment. And then your last smuggled question, NHIL. NHIL has a list of drugs that it is supposed to cover. And the list of drugs cover the basic sicknesses that are allowed on the NHIS. Unfortunately, it's not working properly, because even the normal claims that the facilities are putting, NHIL is not refunding those claims. One, because government of Ghana has capped the NHIL. There's something they call the Capping and Realignment Act. And so any statutory fund that reaches a certain percentage, the excess money goes into the contingency fund. So NHIL is not getting the full amount that should go into it. So they are finding it difficult to recompense the health facilities for the treatment they are giving NHIL card holders. And so because of that, they also cannot provide the drugs. You are lucky if you go and you get amoxicillin. You are lucky if you go and you get analgesics. You are lucky if you go and get cough syrups. In some places, they just let you see the doctor, write a prescription for you. You go to the pharmacy, they say there are no drugs, and you have to go to the outside pharmacy to buy it. And so when we come, we will uncap the NHIL so that the full amount Ghanaians are paying as National Health Insurance Levy will go into the fund, so that we can reinvest the hospitals to be able to give the treatment that they are required to give. So thank you, and I think I'm here now, ne? Okay, let me take this guy in the green shirt. He looks so eager, and his beard is imposing, so.
Good evening, Mr. President. I'm from the Savannah region. My name is Bawa Mubarak. Savannah region, our main economic activity is farming. Mr. President, I want to ask, inshallah, 7 December, you come to power. What is your plan for my people in the Savannah region who are mainly doing farming? What I realize is that even after the support you might give them, to be able to produce more, to salvage our food inflation that is sitting 47% now, what are we going to do to also prevent post-harvest loss? Because I remember when I was to enter senior high school, my dad has to exchange 3 bags of pepper for my admission fee, and the rest went waste. So I want to know your support to the farmers in the Savannah region, and after they produce this food, because we have abundance of land, and we are inviting all investors to come and do farming in the Savannah region. After we making this food available, will there be market for this food to be sold so that our farmers can get some income? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's a home question. because I come from Savannah too, so it's a homeboy. And the question goes directly to me because I don't only come from Savannah, but in Gunsunu, where my mother comes from, I have a big agricultural project there. I'm doing about 200 acres of soya bean and 100 acres of yellow maize. And so I know exactly what you're talking about. Now, one of the interventions we're giving to farmers is that they do not have access to mechanization services. If you go to hire a tractor now to plow your field, it's 200 cedis per acre they are charging. And so if you're doing, say, 10 acres, let's say just 10 acres, you're talking of 2,000 cedis. Many farmers do not have 2,000 cedis to plow 10 acres. And so in many cases, if he has money, he'll probably plow 1 or 2 acres and pay 400 when he could have plowed the whole 10 acres. If he doesn't have it, then he has to go with his wife and family and take the hoe and be able to cultivate what he can cultivate. So the first thing is to give them services of mechanized agriculture. And that's why we said we're going to build farmer service centers. We're going to put tractors, plows, harrows, and everything there so that when the farmers need the service, we'll provide it for them. Even on my private farm in Busuno, I have tractors, I have combine harvesters, everything. When I finish plowing my field, the farmers around who want mechanization services, I allow my tractor to go and plow for them. And so we'll give them mechanization services. But the good thing about the Farmer Service Center is it's going to be a one-stop shop for the farmer. It's not only mechanization services. It will be like a microcredit agency. So your fertilizer will be there. Your weedicide, condemn, will be there. All the inputs that you need, improved seeds, will be there. So at the beginning of the farming season, if you are registered, you have to register with the Farmer Service Center. At the beginning of the farming season, any service you want, including your fertilizer, your weedicide, and everything, they'll provide it for you. They'll record the cost. And then you plant your field, do what you have to do. When you harvest, you go and sell your products. You come and pay what you owe the service center. The rest is yours to do whatever you want to do with. But another thing we're coming with is minimum recommended prices or minimum guaranteed prices. We know what goes into producing a bag of maize. And so at the beginning of the season, we announced that the minimum guaranteed price of a bag of maize should be this. If you can get a higher price on the market, you go and sell it. If you can't get a higher price, you can sell it to your farmer service center, or we can let buffer stock buy the maize off you. Right now, farmers are not able to sell to buffer stock because buffer stock is using agents. My brother farmed maize. He went to try and sell to buffer stock. They said they don't buy directly from farmers, so they should go to the agents. And they went to the agent, and the price that he was buying it from the farmer, he said it's not worth it. I'll take it to Techima Market and go and sell it there. And that's what he did. And so minimum guaranteed prices, that makes the farmer know what price is a fair price for him, would be one of the things that we're looking at. But post-harvest losses are a major thing because we don't have enough processing. And that's why I was talking about agro-processing centers, supporting Kalije and others to set up small micro agro-processing centers to buy the goods off the farmers and process them. But we must also look at irrigation, where we have good facilities for producing irrigation facilities so that farmers can water their crops. That will be fine. Right now, as I speak, the whole of Bono through Savannah and northern region, there's a drought. For almost 8 weeks, it hasn't rained. And so the maize crop is dying. And I would have thought that that is what the agric minister will be concerned with. Instead, he's saying, we won't hand over power, we won't hand over power. The farmers in the north are calling you. Their maize is wilting because there's no rain. So you must start strategizing how we're going to get enough maize to feed our people in the lean season. Thank you. Yes. Wow. Let me take the lady Let me take the lady in yellow. And then after that, I'll move this way because I've not yet covered those here.
Okay. I'm Nafisa Tufonda from the University Student Association of Ghana, their Women's Commissioner. So our concern is, how will the NDC government put a stop to the University Teachers Association of Ghana consistent strike every year? And in majority of our universities, students are being charged extra fees for paying late school fees. How will the NDC government help settle this issue? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. UTAG, that is UTAG. No, I'm talking about the strikes. University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG. They are the ones you're talking about, and the strikes. It's a matter of conditions of service. I'm not part of their negotiations. I'm not part of the bargaining, collective bargaining. So I don't know what the real issues are. But I think that government should give them a hearing. What the lecturers normally are complaining about is that their salaries and their emoluments are not worth, they don't take them home. It is something that affects the generality of workers. Our wages and incomes are low here because of certain factors. And so we came with a single spine salary structure where we put everybody on the universal pay structure. And the intention was that we will all progress together. And as the economy got stronger, we'll be able to pay fairer and fairer wages so that everybody is happy. Unfortunately, two things have happened. This government has disaggregated it. And when they've come under pressure, they have compensated one group over the others. And so once that happens, then the next group too says, oh, then we also are entitled to this. Why are you paying these ones this and we are not getting this? Then it spoils the whole system. And so that's one of the major issues that is working out here. And so we need to look at how we can pay a fair remuneration to everybody who is working in the public space. The second thing is that the economic crisis and the rate of inflation has eroded everybody's income. Inflation went as high as 54%, and even as I speak, it's above 20%. Every day you go to the market, the prices of goods and services are changing. And so everybody feels emasculated in terms of how much income they are earning. Because if somebody was earning a certain income today, in 2017, when the cedi was, say, 5 or 6 to the dollar, today, if the person is earning a certain amount, when the cedi to the dollar is 16, then the person has lost out in terms of their income, in terms of their savings. And so one of the major tasks ahead of government is to make sure we stabilize the economy. So that when you stabilize the economy and you improve people's incomes, because inflation is not high, because the dollar is not running away and breaking jail when you locked it up, it will make people's incomes more meaningful. And so one of our major tasks is to stabilize the economy. And one of the reasons why the economy and the income, foreign exchange is a problem is because the cocoa sector has collapsed. The cocoa sector used to bring us $2 billion every year, fresh, clean dollars into our economy. Today, we can't even make $800 million because this government has mismanaged the cocoa sector. Administration alone is 3.4 billion cedis. What are you doing with 3.4 billion cedis for administration? And so they've mismanaged that sector. Oil and gas, they've chased some of the oil companies away. ENI moved all their white stuff to Cote d'Ivoire, went and invested almost $100 million there, and have made a major find. When they had 4 compartments they were working on here. Unfortunately, in the 8 years that this government has been in power, not one single drop of oil more. The oil that they got were 2 oil fields that I brought into production, 10 field and Sankofa, and gave them additional revenues. Since then, they haven't added even one. And so when we come, we have to bring all these people back, let them pump the oil and gas as fast as they can, so that we can bring more foreign currency into our economy and be able to stabilize things. Let me move here. The gentleman in the white shirt. And after you, the gentleman in the smoke and the coolie high.
Thank you, Your Excellency. My question has to do with my friends on the streets. Your Excellency, there is a 10% withholding tax on sport betting. Your Excellency,
yeah, go on.
Your Excellency, I would like to know, and I want you to assure the youth of this country.
And you leave this, Excellency. Say JM. Yeah.
Okay. If I say the matter be street matter.
It be street matter.
Yeah,
if you talk pidgin.
Exactly. Make that one pidgin. So my boys and girls on the streets, they are very happy because this is what we do every day. If you wake up where you know bets, it means you no go chop. But withdrawing, let's say 1,000 cities, and they will take 100 cities. Your Excellency, no be easy with the tire. So right now, I just want you to assure us that if we vote for you, inshallah, 7th January 2025, you'll be sworn in as president. And I can assure you that the street boys, we are for you 24/7, and we are going to police the ballots until the last ballot is counted. We are not leaving the polling station.
Yeah.
And I can assure you this. If only you assure us and promise us that you are going to abolish the 10% bear tax. We are voting for you, we are campaigning for you, and we vote for you. We will stay at the polling station until the last ballot is counted. We are not leaving the polling station.
Thank you. Thank you. One question, I beg you. This, you see, Jama. This one be the yawa of the day. You see, boys they hustle, and job no day. So now the bets they do small, get money for gobe. You see, so I understand. As no say this one, it be matter where they concern the youth. Plenty. So we talk already. Say where we come, the betting tax will go remove them. We go find, we know say, this government, the IMF sign agreement, so they bring the betting tax. But we for find alternative revenue to plug the whole way the betting tax will cost. So as the young boys, the street boys, the hustlers, no get work to do. For the meantime, they go do this small betting. Then we go do the 24-hour economy. Where it comes, everybody get work to do, everybody they work. Then we go say, but you where they bet, you get work. Then you see. So for now, make the boys be, make the be. You know, the small thing that they get, we go give them. But when the 24-hour economy work, then you all they work, everybody get work. You they chop 111 instead of 000. Then maybe in future sometime, but then maybe no be me be president. Then they go look and see whether it be something where they go do. But we go remove the betting tax. E-levy too, we go remove them. So him in the smoke. Then after that, this the young man, the young man there. Okay.
Excellency, thank you very much for the opportunity. As a son of a fisherman, my father, just a month ago, was prevented from going to sea under the guise of closed season. We all know from Axim to Ada to Elubo, farming, in fact fishing is what they do. If you close the season at a time when the June, July weather is cold, that the fishes are cooling off, that they can easily be harvested. If you keji onga inshore around that time, oyamawi amengame bashi ame amena nuchibona me tu ame bi omo ba yame keji oba nyo ha me ne ke assurance ake there will be no close season. Allow you will manage how to do this close season. Mr. President, finally, we are sitting in a sporting arena. And this is one fantastic thing that you did. But I've not seen this in other regions. We went to the Olympics Games, and there's no representative for boxing. I'm sad as a young man who has an interest in sports in this country. What can we do to revive sports? More especially the known sports and even the lesser known sports that we embark on in this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me answer it fast so that more people will get the opportunity. I met the fishing groups about a month and a half or 2 months ago. I went to the Tema Fishing Harbor and met them. And I announced there that when we come, there will be no closed season for artisanal fishermen. Listen to my words carefully. For artisanal fishermen. You know, those who put more pressure on the sea are the trawlers and the big fishing vessels. One measure that is even more important is that they are not supposed to fish within a certain nautical miles of the coast. And that is because that is where a lot of the fish come to breed, in the shallower waters. Because when they are breeding, their eggs need a bit of sunlight and all that to be able to incubate. And so, rather than punish artisanal fishermen and say you are doing a closed season, make sure you monitor the number of nautical miles so that the trawlers don't come there. If they don't come there, the fish stocks will recover. And what we say is, how much fish do the artisanal fishermen catch? The majority of the fish is caught by big trawlers, many of them who even catch that fish and go and land the fish in other ports instead of bringing it for Ghanaians to be able to eat. So the closed season will be there for the big trawlers and the big fishers. But the artisanal fishers who go with their small canoe and their outboard motor and their nets to go and catch nokofio ni akebaba ni akwe amehalfa, you go and onga and shona maba. The small fishers, artisanal fishers, no closed season, will stop the trawlers from fishing within a certain nautical miles of the coast, and then also there will be closed season for them. It can only be a gun. A bad Nafanya Nusi. Bonifio canoe fishing. Amele waha me close season. Wonga and Shonda. Wonga. She vessels agwagwe. Ameni more nine loe fe and Shona. He wa amele obanga waha me. She menike canoe outboard motor. Wole me amele wonga ona aha benyo nushishi. No, there's one more here, then we're coming here. So after him, no, he has boxing. Yeah. We built this beautiful boxing arena in collaboration with SNIT. Yeah. Banqueva. Stay there. Hey, stay there. The boxers are here. Baku. Nake nyeno London. If you make a note in London, KFC ke hamburger say, oye wa. Tete, oto nunga.
Choboy. My brothers and my sisters, they're here. Who is a president 2024? Who is a president 2024? A water store cannot fear the code.
A man cannot be careful unless he wear white shirts and a drive new car. Okay. Ngame, 1 minute.
What can come? If able tongue. And your father, me to my be what papa ke. And no go come banner. MPPB a home wa Ghana properties fe. Bro me to my be what papa ke. Eba power, do get eba power and eba shia malo te ba fi amete awo.
Thank you. There you are done. The boxers have taken advantage. I was talking about boxing. Hey, well, we built this arena. We built this arena. We built this arena as a center of excellence to train Ghanaian boxers. Thank you. Give this to my small daughter. Give to my daughter. Use it for 111 tomorrow. We built this arena as a center of excellence to train Ghanaian boxers. Put it in your bag. And so, this arena is not just this oval. It is a complex. There's a gym, there's a hostel, there's a restaurant, there's a school. so that even when the young people are training as boxers, they can be attending classes so that they don't miss school. And the intention was that the Ghana Boxing Association was going to go around the regions with mobile boxing rings and try, young talents. And when they have found the young talents, they will pick them and bring them here to the Center of Excellence. That was the purpose. And so, unfortunately, it hasn't realized its full potential, and it is something we still have in mind that when we come, we'll fully activate it, because there are talents all over the country. Of course, we know that boxing is a sport that is loved by the Bukom Odododio axis, and that's why we built it here in Bukom. And so Bukom is the headquarters of Ghana Boxing, and so the intention is to bring other talents from all over the country to come and join their colleagues here to train as boxers. I mean, we all used to stay awake to watch Azuma Nelson in those days. Sometimes at 3 a.m. in the morning, we are watching Azuma fighting in Australia. Ghana must recapture those days, and we can do it. The talent is there. We just need to nurture that talent so that we can get back on track. A lot of money goes into football, but we always get heartbreaks with football. The last time we won any major trophy was in 1981 in Libya. Since then, we've had a trophy drought in football. But football is national sports, and everybody. But we must organize it in such a way that we are able to get something. And so we must bring back the inter-schools football. We must bring back the Milo championships. We must bring back the academicals. We must bring back the coaches and all that, so that we can pick the talents. And when we pick the talents, the thing about the Ghana team is we have individual talents, but they don't have enough playing time together. And so we must be prepared to make sure that we camp them outside where their colleagues on break can come and join them. They play together for some time. When they're on break, we bring their colleagues from outside to come and play with them so that they understand each other. They understand each other's game. And once we put them together, they will be a team. Right now, they are not playing as a team. They are playing as individuals. And so if some opportunity comes, pam, they score, then we are happy. But it won't take us far unless we do it in a more organic fashion. But there are many lesser-known sports. You go to the Olympics, and somebody won a sport in, there's some new dance, something they do. Head spinning. There's head spinning. Mokoena gold, yeah, head spinning. So cafe, medal table, gold, Myanmar, head spinning. I don't know if they won it. I'm just giving you an example. And so many other little sports. And so if we put a little money in there too, and some of them are individual sports. If we put some money in, we'll be able to grow the talent, and we'll be able to also make gold in the sports tournaments. Hey, there are a lot of hands here. Okay. I'm going to take, we don't seem to have much time left, but I'm going to take this gentleman seated here, and then after that, I'll take the Hajia, who is smiling at me in red Mayafi, and then we'll see. Okay, let's take these two and then we'll see.
Thank you very much, Jim. My name is Felix. I'm a medical laboratory scientist. Before 2020 election, you engaged people for their input into what you refer to as the People's Manifesto. Yeah. And I'm happy for medical laboratory professionals. We saw ourselves in the manifesto. In fact, if we were to count votes, we would have said it was an 8-2 vote from the medical laboratory professionals. We are counting on you once again that we want to see the formation of a medical laboratory council in this year's manifesto. That would move the figure from 8-2 to 10-0 from the medical laboratory group.
Thank you.
The other side of it is that
one question.
No, I'm not coming to my question. The other one was appreciation.
Okay, appreciation. All right. Dr. Dansobo, if you are listening, make sure that medical laboratory professionals, their inputs are in the manifesto.
Thank you very much. So what we've realized is that you've unleashed the potential of our brothers, pharmacists, pharmaceutical companies. The other people who have the ability to manufacture and to let the 24-hour economy actually bounce is the medical laboratory professionals. We have the ability to develop and manufacture all the RDTs you can think of here in Ghana. So we want to say that please remember us and unleash us also so we can be part of the 24-hour economy. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Actually, when I talked about pharmaceutical industry, I included manufacture of reagents and all the other things that you use to do your work. And so you are included in that whole pharmaceutical 24-hour economy. Yes, Hadia. Hadia.
My name is Adia Orejallo. I'm the women organizer of the Fulani Youth Association of Ghana.
Okay.
My question is about the citizenship. The way they deny we, the Zongo community, the Ghana card and the passports, especially we, the Fulanis, including voters' ID, we've been denied. We want to know, Mr. President, or we want you to give us assurance. If we, the Zongo community or the Fulbe community, vote for you, if you come to power, what are the measures you are going to put it down for us so that we'll get this citizenship? And the second question goes
One question, Hadia.
This one, please, is very important. It's about the farmers and the, what is the name?
The headers, cattle headers.
The conflicts between them. If you can, please, what are the measures we are going to put it across so that there will be peace?
All right. Thank you very much, Haja. Nago de Kore Alite Maka. Abin da ke nan lokacin da Ghana bai zama Ghana ba, wannan lokaci turawa ke duban mu. Da na cira nan Gold Coast. Da an yi wani fada daga World War. Idan ka te ka duba waranda sun te sun yi fada, akwai sunan Kanjaga, akwai sunan Zambrama, akwai sunan Fulani, akwai sunan Gurunshi, akwai sunaye diyewa, inda da suna Ghana, tukuna Ghana ya zo ya zama Ghana. Kwa President Kwame Nkrumah lokacin da ya sa tuta bisa kamar mun juye Ghana, ya ce wanda ke cikin Ghana duka ke Fulani ne o, ke Zambrama ne o, ke Gonja ne o, ke Ashanti ne o, ke Fanti ne, wai ka zama mutum Ghana ne. What I said simply is that if you go to the war memorial in Kumasi, you see the names of fallen soldiers from the World War. That is when Ghana was Gold Coast and Britain was our colonial master. And if you read it, you will see Sergeant something Ajimai. You see Alasan Fulani. You see Salifu Dagati. You see Seydou Zambrama. You see Yakubu Grushi. All those people were here in Gold Coast time. And they had their children, their grandchildren, all here. When our first president, Kwame Nkrumah, raised the flag and said, at long last the battle is ended, and Ghana, your beloved country, is free forever. When he said that, all these people were in Ghana. The Kanjaga, Zambrama, Ashanti, Fanti, Ga, all of us were here. And so, when Nkrumah made that declaration, the descendants of all those people are Ghanaians. And so we should not discriminate. It happened to me. My mother went to register at Tesano, and she mentioned her name. And one of her names is Boncho. And so when the man heard it, he said, Boncho. And I said, Boncho, unye ganani. It is a friend, bonjour, bonjour. And so my mother had to come back to call my sister to come and vouch that, oh, that's Honorable John Mahama's mother, before they registered her. And so you cannot, on the basis of a person's name, determine that the person is not Ghanaian. And that's why we said that we must have a system where we're able to vouch for each other. Otherwise, you will exclude a lot of people. People go for Ghana card and they refuse to allow them to register. Okay, full headsmen and agriculturists. It is a major problem because a lot of our communities are agricultural, and often the cattle destroy people's crops. And so I went to the north recently, and one of their major problems of agriculture is fencing, how to fence their farms to prevent animals from encroaching and eating their crops. And so it is something we must find a solution to. And there are solutions. For instance, there is, and I'm trying something. My father had a rice farm, it's abandoned, I've taken over the land. And we're doing intensive cattle grazing. And so we're going to put the cattle in a limited area. And we're going to grow grass to feed the cattle. And so we've divided it into what we call 10 paddocks. It's a pilot I'm doing. Into 10 paddocks. So the cattle will feed here for 3 or 4 days. And then they'll move to the next one and graze there. From there, they'll move to the next one. By the time they go around the 10 and come back here, the grass has grown again. And so if we're able to do it, in the areas where we have a lot of this conflict, we can invest in getting the herders to bring their cattle to these grazing centers. We will put a tag on each cattle's ear so everybody knows his cow. When your cow gives birth, immediately we'll put your tag on it. So everybody knows the yellow tags are my cattle. This one, the blue tags are yours. The brown tags are for these people. We'll have veterinary services there. There will be water there so that you can graze your cattle and look after your cattle. If it works, we can replicate it in especially the areas where there's conflict so that we can let them bring their cattle there. There will be veterinary services. They'll give them injections, everything. There will be a cattle market nearby. They can go and sell their cattle, make their money, and everybody will live in peace ever after. I started from here. So I'll take more. We'll take 2 more. 2 more. Hey. Are you doing? You say? Okay. Let me take, I'll take 1 man and 1 woman. 1 woman there in the red, and 1 man over there in the yellow. So give the microphone to the lady first. This will not be the last. We will have more encounters, so don't worry.
Good evening, His Excellency.
Good evening, JM. Just say JM.
Good evening, JM.
Thank you.
Please, I bear the name Farida Khalifa. I want to
Farida
Khalifa.
Oh, that's my daughter's name.
Okay. Please, I would like to flow in my local dialect.
Okay.
Ofana bibia keshike oba power and wafebo drama oba power. Ofana oba legalize banka to banka lotoelo. Thank you.
Okay, I don't know about that. I don't think that's the most pressing thing. I don't think that's the most pressing thing, Farida. Maba Ocho banker to banker. Okay, so let's take this other question.
Good evening. My name is Alvin. I consider myself a social media journalist. I'll be real quick. Recently, there was a conversation about internet packages that we all have to deal with. I want to ask, thanks to tech in Chi, we all understand that internet is very expensive in Ghana. What do you have for the youth, especially that are engaged in buying internet on the, of course, in Ghana? Thank you very much.
Okay, let's take the last one. Okada. Okay, you and then the Okada rider. Then we'll finish.
Hello, sir. Good evening. My name is SDK. I'm a content creator. Most of my brother and the kind about internet and so. I do all and only about the prices alone. Walk us through. Pandemic about the speed too. Because you know your content now they uploading. Just a video of 1 minute. I bet 20 to 30 minutes and some upload it. Put me beside about Namada to Fuma for the all the telcos around in will have a top speed for everyone to be able to work around with the internet. Because you talk about the 24-hour economy now, then the use internet and then to go to some portrait. My small question about our movie industry too. At first, I started as comedian, amateur movies now. That was feeding me. I'm in Papa. But then in Yaba phone, I have to switch to eating people's food at restaurants. That was straight for. But now
I own Asanka Kakrakebi. And then I'm from Choba to Choba. Okay, Mahu. Now, sister, I don't know. So, what are you doing? Tinubu.
Yeah, that's my other guy.
Your other guy?
Yeah.
You and you?
Yeah.
You and him?
Yeah.
I saw the last competition between the two of you. Okay. What's a mechiano?
Matt Mekachen. Inti abaditune ama movie industry to pick up. Some of them also have talent to be in the movie industry. You'll be also no producer, but we'll be also producer movie noise about the implementation. Okay. The thing about data nazi ejina competition. Akoye the one telco ewo monopoly. If you say no the largest network. Nti ama ono otumi peja the price higher. And so anka competition wo ho a Oshe Airtel ne Glow ne Hwan ase won adwuma abafom enti aka MTN na Vodafone kwa enti ewode yebo modern na yepeja other telcos no na competition eba said na beya ebema rates na abafom. Right now many okasei new technology satellite internet so aba and afe na asha se minim say eba na ebedoso a ebema satellite internet rates na ebeba from na se eba from a the competition beba with telcos no na ni na bema internet rates na aba from because you hear high speed internet enti na ye say 5G so beba because 5G you very high speed I say etimi use AI na nyoma na e 5G mu. And so we'll speed that up. Senebeya, we can get relief for our people in the internet space. Now, Kumawood, as there the Creative Arts Fund, beba. Now, I buy the seed money atum. And it's a better movie. You can apply to the Creative Arts Fund. And Obama Osika. Na what they try moving on, what the better actors and actresses, or there something reasonable because I feel obitimi kotna shooting by 2 weeks
na yaman 1,000 Ghana cedis. Oche de ne transport mpo de buy and transport of besa dia kofie. Oche se on son. Enti would improve how much you give to the artist and then give you enough money to shoot the movie. Apart from that, you have digital studios so that you can produce state-of-the-art quality movies. In the Echo studio now, you pay far less than you do if you go to a private studio. After each film, exhibition halls, you will see exhibition halls in different places. In the Okwa, as I say, which are movie now, Okwa exhibit here, what you 50%, also exhibition hall offer 50% of the proceeds, now also offer 50%. Most of the times, it doesn't cover your cost of production. And the exhibition halls now, you movie now, ebia you get 20% just for maintenance and other things. Now 80% film producer wafa na or the ashare or how far. And there were a lot of good things for the creative industry. And they've told us what they want. Until the good manifesto. Until later this month, the manifesto you would see our initiatives for the creative industry there. Last, Okada, last.
Sankofa. 2024. Yes, my name is Ibrahim Tajuddin, normally known as Prince Dollar. Mr. James, I'm going to say, how do you put it? I started Okada since 2008. We've been in it for so many years. In 2019, when we heard that we wanted to legalize it, we said, hey, then we have to support. But here lies the case. We want to support for you to come to the office. But our problem is, when you come to the office and you legalize it, how are we sure that we, the Okadas, will get office at the transport ministries? And also, are we going to implore a certain sector people to come and endorse on us, or we are going to be the same people to engage with the work that we are doing as Okadas? That's my question.
Okay. You already have your association. And so your association is your umbrella body. And you can do what you call peer review. Okay? But let me tell you exactly what we're going to do. Okada is a reality. And whatever you do, you can't stop it. And so we must accept the reality that it has come to stay, that it is providing employment for hundreds of thousands of our young people. And so like in countries like Uganda and other places, they have legalized and regulated Okada, and it is working. You go there, they call it something, border or something, border. They've legalized it, and it's working. They regulate it. They've given them uniforms. They have this polo shirts that they wear. So when you see the polo shirt and you see him on his bike, you know this is an Okada rider. They've given them training. They make sure they have their helmets. And even now, they are introducing electric motorcycles and giving it to the Okada riders. And so you ride, you don't buy fuel. When your battery is weak, you go to a station, they'll take the old battery, put a new battery, you pay 10 cedis or 5 cedis, and then you continue. So there is a lot that we can do. And we must pass legislation to protect the riders. But the riders too must obey the traffic regulations. You don't stop at traffic lights. When you reach traffic light, it's red, you look left, look right, nobody, him, then you go. We'll give you special license plates and special numbers. So when you cross the light like that, we'll take your number down. Wherever they find you, they'll catch you. So you must obey the traffic regulations, and we will license you, regulate you. We'll get people to train you on safe riding. Those who don't have licenses will help you to get licenses, and we'll let you be able to buy insurance. so that if there's an accident, your passenger is protected. And so we allow you to get insurance to protect yourself and your passenger. And so we will regulate it, and we'll make sure that it is safe for everybody to be able to ride. But I also caution drivers. Drivers hate to see a motorcycle in front of them. A motorcycle is also a road user. If you just consider that it's a car in front of you. But when it's a motorcycle, it's going, and then before you see, you knock him down. We'll also make it punitive for drivers who knock down motorcyclists. In many places, if you knock down a pedestrian or a cyclist, the sanction is very terrible. Today, you know how many school children are knocked down every day, killed on our streets. And people get away with it. We must increase the sanctions for knocking down pedestrians. You see a zebra crossing. Somebody is crossing, a car is coming. Hey, who's a car about? But the road traffic regulation says, if somebody is on the zebra crossing, if even you go to any of the other countries, he just puts his foot on the white line. If you are coming and you don't stop, the camera will take your car number. Before you see, 80 pounds fine, 100 pounds fine. You know, so we must respect the road traffic regulations, and we must protect cyclists, we must protect motorcyclists, we must protect pedestrians. Because the pedestrian knockdowns, I mean, a few months ago, a student from UPSA or Legon, he was going home, a car knocked him down and killed him. Somebody had just finished his postgraduate, he had presented his thesis successfully that day, he was going to celebrate, a car knocked him down and killed him. And so we must see how we can enforce the laws so that people are more careful on our roads.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, fellow millennials, Gen Zs, Gen Ys, please, your president, John Dramani Mahama. Please, standing ovation as we recognize the incoming president of the Republic, December 2024. JM, you do all. You know, be so. Are the youth here? Youth, 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 power, action. JM, permission to call you JM? Yeah. Awesome. Fantastic delivery. And before we delve into what we have for you, I think one question from Nafisa about the penalty for non-payment of fees. I think you glossed over it a bit, if you could take that.
Yeah, okay. It is a regular practice that for late payments, some penalty in order to encourage people to pay quickly. But what I think we can do is to introduce a system where students pay the fees in installments, so that if they are not able to get the full amount of fee, they are able to put something down, and there should be no penalty on their fees. And so we'll break the fees into installments so that it makes it easier for them to pay. If you ask them to pay the full, say 2,500 cedis or something, they don't have it. But if you say, look, pay 1,000 and we give you this period of time, pay another 1,000, we'll give you this period of time, pay another 500, I'm sure it will ease the pressure on students.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's give it up for John Dramani Mahama.
Thank you.
JM, we want to thank you for recognizing the youth, how powerful we are, and always availing yourself for public scrutiny. And I think you've done a fantastic job. Please, let's give it up for him. Let's give it up for him. Let's give it up for him.
Let's give it up for him. It's been conversational, it's been educative, it's been inspiring, and I, for one, I feel very related to you, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to interact with you, Mr. Next President.
Ladies and gentlemen, we know you have tons of questions, and we've not forgotten about that. Please, this is the call line to the youth wing that you can reach out for your questions to be answered. Please take these numbers: 05969206677, 059692067. Mr. President, we thank you so much. We recognize the presence also of our incoming Vice President, the only lady professor in Ghana's politics, Professor Nana Jane Opoku Achiman. Please, let's give it up for her.